My name is Cindy, and we have Hannah here.
I'm on the other side.
Have Hannah here.
But yeah, hi, we're back indeed, and Cindy is gonna introduce our subject for today.
Yeah, so today Hannah told me that she got a DM from someone about a topic request, and that person asked the question, can you talk about how you accepted your own roots? So for us, it's our Chinese ethnicity. So let me start with the question, how did you accept it?
Honestly, I cannot even really remember when I started to accept it. It was more that I became less worried about it because when I was in elementary, I used to feel really self-conscious about it. Like, why am I Chinese? Just like we mentioned in the last episode, we're like, why am I Chinese? Why am I different from you? And later on, when people stopped joking around about it, like, huh, Chinese or something like that, and then it became like less and less like conscious about it. But after I met you and other friends, like Chinese friends, it started like I'm actually very proud of being Chinese, and I don't know, maybe because we started speak up as a group about the issue with like Asian racism and other things and topics that will like cross our minds with how other people think of us. And I think that's like the click where I switched it off. Like I'm good. Like I'm really proud of it. Like I'm not even like accepting my own roots at this moment. I'm proud of it. So I
That's
think
beautiful.
I think that's what it's for me. But what about you?
Yeah, actually the same because growing up, I was basically one of those few Asian people in during my high school, and so it was sometimes hard, because they don't really understand um, how you are growing up with the Asian standards and that kind of thing. Even though that my parents are very Western thoughts, they still had sort of Asian standards. So sometimes it was hard to talk with my Dutch friends. Like I can go to a party, for example, because my parents thought I was too young to party. And eventually, indeed, I yeah made some Asian friends, and it was so new to me because yeah, those people are actually understanding you. They are having the same struggles that you are struggling with. So little by little, by having more Asian friends, I really accepted my roots, and eventually, indeed, um, yeah, I think that's part of the community. Being in the Asian community really
True.
helped. Yeah, your acceptance. Um, but also you have to think like this way. Like you can speak another language that people mostly cannot speak. So in public, you can talk about those people without letting them know. You know.
That's like a perk. That's
Yeah,
hell of a perk.
it's a huge benefit. So there are a lot of benefits of being different than those people. Like you can just gossip about them without letting them
With them
know.
being in the same room when you're like
Yeah,
across from each other,
exactly.
like, and they were like asking like, what are you saying? Oh no, we just think you're so pretty. Like, well,
Yeah.
I wasn't ever that mean, but like just you know what I mean. But
What do you
I
mean?
but I also think that what you mentioned there, it was like really like gossiping and benefits. Not really gossiping in general, but like benefits, like the food, the Asian food you would get introduced, like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
it's just so many. And I also think that our culture in like the Chinese culture is really beautiful. So
it really is.
red pockets.
I mean, yeah. If you are not Asian, where are the red pockets on New Year?
True, and
So
that's like also a thing, and also the way of educating your child is also very different. I'm not saying that the Western way is wrong or the Chinese way is wrong. It's just so different, and you can learn so much from both sides. I mean, you get to know what your parents and other people of your like ethnicity don't know. You get to know, you can fully understand them, and you
Mhm.
can even benefit yourself with it and even improve it in that way, you know.
Yeah, indeed. And I also think that um, it's a kind of sort of your unique talents, because if you can speak another language, not all people can do that. So it's kind of a talent with a lot of benefits in it. And basically, I just love the community right now. So
Same,
um,
same. I love you
yeah.
guys so much. Like for the people who are watching this, I know a few of you are watching it, and I love you. Like we love you. We love you all. Like you know us. So, but you know what crossed my mind literally like 2 minutes ago? It was like when we're in the Netherlands, people don't think that we're not white enough. They think we're like too Asian or too Chinese, like different from them. But when we're going back to China or like experiencing like the same environment with them, I didn't have this in particular, but I know a lot of friends of mine have, and they will go back to China and they would say that he's too white, he's too whitewashed, you know,
Yeah,
like that you
yeah,
never fit in a certain way. Did you
yeah.
have that?
That is what I am dealing with, kind of. But I am always like, okay, I don't really care, because I think it's part of my personality that I often don't really care about it, as long as I am happy. And yeah, it's kind of personal thing. Like I, for the Netherlands, I am Chinese. I am not Dutch enough, if I have to put it in those sentences.
Mm-hmm.
But for China, I am not 100% Chinese, because I come from the Netherlands.
True.
So, I mean, I kind of think it's funny how both worlds are seeing me as a person. Um, yeah, basically, I don't really care, but because I am therefore having a fun time, not for them judging me all the time.
True, true,
So,
true, true. I agree, I agree.
yeah. So,
It's just like because a lot of people have like what is that identity crisis with it because of
yeah,
it.
and I understand that. Yeah,
I feel
and
really
it's hard.
bad for those people. Like, I mean, if you look it up from the bright side, there are a lot of benefits that we just mentioned, like knowing two different languages, at least, just
Mhm.
experiencing different cultures at the same time, and also be able to be a bridge between two countries. But
Yeah,
if you look it up on the other side, it's really indeed dangerous, or like not dangerous, but more
it can be an identity crisis for yourself, and that's the danger of it, because people can be depressed about it,
true.
which I totally understand. But I think it's important that you stop thinking about what people think about you, and just start thinking about what how you want to be seen. And if you accept the way that you want to be seen, then I think that the acceptance will be from yourself first. That's the main important thing. And I
True.
know it sounds cheesy and that everybody says it, but it really is
It
true.
is the
Like if you
cliche
accept
thing.
yourself, yeah, if you accept yourself, and if you want to be seen as a Chinese girl or a Chinese boy, or a part Chinese, part Dutch, it's totally fine. Just know for yourself, accept for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are living for yourself and not for other people to judge you.
That's a really good statement because when you're not accepting yourself, you will feel like that everyone is disguising you or like not vibing with you because you're not the same as them. But you don't have to like adjust to them. You can just adjust to yourself, and at the end of the day, it's the most important thing is that you're not sorry to yourself
Yeah.
because you have to deal with yourself for your entire life. But
Exactly.
it's so easy to say, and I think everyone knows it, but it's so hard to actually do it because you know the Asian culture, like especially the Chinese culture, where I'm like familiar with is oppressing you with it. Because
Yeah.
if they think that you're not with them or not the same kind of person, they will literally say it in your face. So you will get an
Mm-hmm.
even harder time over that than actually trying to accept yourself, because you will feel oppressed by them. Just like, what's a good example? For example, when, oh, the cliche example, like, why do you eat so little? Like, you need to eat more. And when you eat more, it's like, why are you so fat? Like, why don't you lose weight? Like, it's immediate, like, directly insulting you actually. But
Yeah.
and they will also do that because I have a friend, like, I'm not sure what happened, but he was like, he went back to China like for a vacation, and he got literally told in his face, like, oh, you're like white, right? You're not born here. You're not the same kind of like Asian like us, right? Or the way he's acting, his attitude and his way of paying and his mindset is like, oh, you're from overseas. You're not from here, right? And even though you're just mentioning it because you are interested, or like, I don't know, just you're not trying to insult them, but it will still come over as an insult because you
Yeah.
think they're different from you. But
Mm-hmm.
even though he doesn't mean it that in that way, I don't even know how to explain. It's just something like, people in China are, they have literally
More
no filter. They
directly.
just say what they
Yeah.
think, and you will feel like they're offending you, even though it's not what they meant, but it will still feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and the hard part is, even though they have a direct speech towards you, if it's an elderly person, you cannot speak directly back,
no,
like, okay, I don't care, or something like that. You cannot say that because that's disrespectful for them, and that's, I think, the hard part of it.
I felt that, like, literally when you're like not saying anything, you're a disgrace because you're not reacting and you're ignoring me, but you just don't want to say anything because you're trying to like keep your mindset calm and not like flash out. But they will like keep asking like, "Oh, why are you not reacting? Why are you disrespecting me?" You're And then you will like blow up and they're like, "Why are you so rude?" Like, oh my god, like, and then like, what did I do wrong? I was just like not reacting because I didn't want to lash out, and now I'm lashing out, and now you're saying that I'm rude.
Yeah, and of course, not everybody's like this, but there are few people that are always act like this, of course. And at those moments, I think the smaller move is just to not, to kind of agree and
Like,
just say nothing, right? Yeah,
like
because
just
at the
like
end
that.
of the day, yeah, you are not going to see them for 24/7 every day after the
True.
vacation, for example. So yeah, it's acceptable in the beginning, but yeah, I do know the feeling that's kind of weird and kind of
I
insulting
do really
sometimes.
agree on that because it's so hard to like keep your keep your calm while they're like straight up insulting you or attacking you with questions and things you don't know or things you do not know how to answer, and then you will feel bad. But
Yeah.
if you're not answering because you don't understand it, they will assume that you're rude, and so they will think that you're not raised right. Like, I haven't experienced it, but I know for a fact that a lot of people have, because they just assume that you're from overseas and that you're not raised right, that you do not have certain respect, or the way you respect people, that you don't know like the common sense of a Chinese Asian country when you're there. Because if I'm looking at my cousin and me, I'm literally seeing that it's not like I'm not obeying, it's more like I have a word, and when I want to share my opinion with my mom or like discuss something, she will actually give me the chance.
Yeah.
Even though she won't listen, she will still like give me a chance to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But my cousin, if she brings it up, it's literally, you're disrespecting me. You're not listening to what I'm saying, and I want the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if I'm there, they will be like, "Oh, your kid is not raised right because she's talking back at me." But I'm not talking back. I'm actually just trying to
giving your
communicate,
insights.
you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's kind of the hard part indeed. And that's because I think that your family in China is still kind of having the hard Chinese standards kind of way of thinking, and a lot of families there over there has that still. Um, my family has have that kind of a little bit, but I not that much that I cannot manage, for example.
it's okay,
But
you mean?
yeah, it's okay, and I mean everybody in my family have a strong opinion, so it's kind of a usual thing now. So that's kind of I think something that benefits me because I have a strong opinion as well most of
Like,
the time.
you want to fight? You want to fight? Okay, sure. You know
Yeah,
what it is? Like what I mentioned just then, it's like even though they do have their opinions, they do know I'm respecting them. So I
yeah,
did actually manage to explain myself and tell them why I think this way, that I'm not disrespecting you, that I'm just like communicating with you.
yeah,
And because of my communication skills in Chinese, they did understand what I meant. And now they do like take the advice of their kids. I don't think they're still listening, but I do think they're like trying to listen to it. So I do think there's a slight improvement, and that's also a part of like communicating, I guess.
mhm,
And like you're not talking back when you're just reacting or giving your opinion. You're just sharing your point of view so you guys can discuss it in a better way and have a better point of view in general, you know.
mhm,
So
yeah.
I
I think
think
that
we
we
got
have to
really
go.
off topic though.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think that we gotta wrap it up because it's already taking 20 minutes or so almost. But we are going to talk about it in another video next, and there we are going to continue with this topic because we are not done yet.
No.
But indeed, what I think, to sum up for very quick, what important is to accept your roots, is to basically understand where you come from and just see all the benefit of out of it and just accept yourself first. So okay, so I think that we are going to see you in the next video. And oh wait, Hannah is here, right?
Again.
Please like, subscribe on her YouTube channel, and we will see you in a part
Subscribe on
2.
us. We're trying to help ourselves out of it by sharing it with the world so you guys can help us as well if we do not have the right point of view or we can still adjust it. So
Yes, and please let us know what you think about it, about this topic in the comments, and we will see you back in
or
part
DM
2.
us. I will link our
Yep.
Instagram in the description, so if you're not really comfortable by commenting it in public, you can always like anonymously text us,
DM us.
DM
Yes.
us. So with no further ado, see you next time.